Now the next is the Peninsula Plateau. The Peninsula Plateau is also known as tableland. It is a tableland composed of old crystalline, igneous and metamorphic rock. It is formed due to the breaking and drifting of Gondwana land. Okay. You can see here in the map three parts of Peninsular Plateau: Central Highland, Deccan Plateau and Chota Nagpur Plateau. The Peninsula Plateau is a tableland. It is composed of oldest rock because it was formed from the drifted part of Gondwana land. Okay, you can see there are valleys and rounded hills. So rounded hills and valleys are the main characteristics of Peninsula Plateau. Now, when you divide Peninsular Plateau, you can divide that into two parts. First is Central Highland, the Central Highland. The Central Highland lies to the north of Narmada River. It covers the major portion of Malwa Plateau. The rivers in this region flow from southwest to northeast, which indicate the slope of the region. It is wider in the west and narrower in the east. Bundelkhand, Baghelkhand that mark the eastern border of the plateau, and also there is Chota Nagpur Plateau. Then second part is the Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau lies to the south of Narmada River. So above Narmada River, Central Highland, down bottom side, it is Deccan Plateau. It is triangular in shape. The Satpura range make the northern boundary. Mahadev, Kaimur Hills, Maikal range that make the eastern boundary. The slope of Deccan Plateau is from west to east. Then it extends into the northeast, which encompasses Meghalaya, Kirby Anglong Plateau, and North Kachar Hills. Garo, Kashi, Jaintia Hills are the prominent hills starting from west to east. If you go to Assam side, Meghalaya side, you will find these all hills. That is Garo Hills, Jaintia Hills, Kasi Hills. These all hills are from west to east. Okay. Then we have Western Ghat and the Eastern Ghat. Western and the Eastern Ghat, they make the edges, the western and eastern edges of Deccan Plateau. The average elevation, means the height of Western Ghat, is 900 to 1600 meter, and compared to 600 meter in the case of Eastern Ghat. So Western Ghat elevated means height is 900 to 1600. Eastern Ghat height is 600 meter. Okay. The Eastern Ghats stretch from Mahanadi Valley to the Nilgiri in the south, and Western Ghat causes orographic rain. Actually, they face orographic rain. As I told you, the wind when coming from water body, it tried to cross the mountainous region, and to cross it reaches up, and when it reaches up they form the clouds, give the rainfall, and on the other side of the mountain when the winds are going, there is no water vapor, so there is no rain. So such type of rain which is coming because of the wind, no, then that type of rain is known as orographic rainfall. Okay. Now next we have the Indian desert. The Indian desert lies towards the western margin of Aravalli Hills. You can see here the Thar desert, the most important desert of India. It is an undulating sandy plain covered with the sand dunes. You can see on the screen the dunes, sand dunes. Okay, this region receives very low rainfall, below 150 millimeter per year. Okay, and here dry climate, arid climate, so very low or less vegetation cover. Streams, the small flow of rivers, they are appearing in rainy season, and as the summer seasons start, the streams, the small flow of water that disappear in the sand. Okay, so as they disappear, so there is lack of water, and so women of desert area have to cross long distance to bring the water. Okay, so the Great Indian Desert, that is also known as Thar Desert, is a large arid region in the northwestern part of Indian subcontinent with an area of 2 lakh square kilometer. It is the world's ninth largest subtropical desert. The Indian desert lies towards the western margin of Aravalli Hills. This region gets scanty rainfall, which is less than 150 millimeter in a year. The climate is arid, vegetation is less, and Luni is the main river in desert area. And this appears in rainy season and disappear in the summer season. And on the lands we can see sand dunes and barkhans. Crescent shaped dunes means barkhans, and sand dunes we can easily see in desert area. Okay, so in this way, peninsular plateau, you get Central Highland, Deccan Plateau, Chota Nagpur area, Western Ghat, Eastern Ghat, and Indian Desert. Now the next topic is the coastal plain. Coastal plain means the adjacent area adjacent to the sea border, that is known as coastal plain. The coastal plain, if you see the peninsular plateau, that is bordered by stretch of narrow coastal strip that runs along the Arabian Sea on the west and Bay of Bengal on the east. The western coast, sandwich between the Western Ghat and the Arabian Sea, is a narrow plain. Western coastal area, coastal plain is between Western Ghat and Arabian Sea. Okay, it consists of 3 sections. That is Konkan, then Konkan, Malabar, okay, and the Konkan, that is between Mumbai to Goa. Okay, it is also known as Kannad Plain, while the southern stretch is referred to as a Malabar coast. Okay, so the peninsular plateau is flanked by a stretch of narrow coastal strip that run along the Arabian Sea on the west and along the Bay of Bengal on the east. Okay, the western coastal plain divided into Konkan, that is which comprises Mumbai and Goa, and Kannad plain, and Malabar coast. Okay, like that there is division of western coastal area. Then we have western coastal area is wider and little level. Okay, as not the western, actually western area is, just now I explained, western coastal area is between Western Ghat and Arabian Sea. This area is little rugged mountain type, rough area. On the other side, if you take the eastern coastal border, then you will see the eastern coastal border is the plain area along the Bay of Bengal, and it is little wider than the western coastal area and more level. Okay, it is in the northern part, it is referred to the northern part of eastern coastal area is northern Sirsar. The southern part is known as Coromandel coast. Okay, and the rivers are Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri. Okay, and what they do, they form many deltas, and Lake Chilika is the most important feature in eastern coast. Okay, so western coast and eastern coast, if we when we compare, we find eastern coast is wider than the western coast. Eastern coast is more level, flat, okay, wider, and western coast is little rough. Okay, then western coast we have 3 parts, that is Konkan, Malabar, Kannad and all that, and eastern coast is divided into 2 parts, northern Sirsar and Coromandel. In eastern part we have many deltas, and one lake is there, that is Lake Chilika. Okay, so this is what your western, the eastern and western coastal plain. You can see the picture. That is what your coastal plains. Now the last part of your chapter, that is islands, the island group of India. Now islands, as you see from the picture, that is from all the side covered with the water, surrounded by the water. So an island is any piece of land that's surrounded by water. Okay, In India, we have two group of islands, the Lakshadweep Island and Andaman and Nicobar Island. The Lakshadweep Islands are in the Arabian Sea. Its area is 32 square kilometer. The administrative headquarters or the capital is Kavaratti. And this group of island is very rich in flora and fauna. And one more thing is there, that is Piti Island. Piti Island is the island which is uninhabited. Uninhabited means people are not living there. That is a bird sanctuary, famous bird sanctuary. Okay, now this Lakshadweep, this was earlier known by three names: Lakadweep, Minikoy and Amandivi. And this island is composed of coral island. Okay, in 1973 this island was given, was the name of this island was changed, and that changed into Lakshadweep. Okay, so this lies, Lakshadweep lies close to the Malabar coast of Kerala. This is a group of island which is of coral island. They were known by three names: Lakadev, Amindivi and Minikoy, and now that is known as Lakshadweep. The area is very small, only 32 square kilometer. The capital, the main headquarters is Kavaratti, and Piti Island is a bird sanctuary. Okay, and very rich in flora and fauna. The next second group is Andaman and Nicobar. Andaman and Nicobar Island, that is bigger than the Lakshadweep Island, and there are many small and many innumerable islands are there. Okay, and the islands are many, innumerable and scattered. Okay, this if you divide this group, this island, then you can have two group: Andaman one group and Nicobar second group. Andaman is in the northern side and Nicobar is in the southern side. So both the islands are very rich in biodiversity, means flora and fauna. Okay, and this island group are of great strategic importance for the country, and that has a great diversity of flora and fauna. And because this island is very close to equator, so we find equatorial climate in this, and there is thick forest. Andaman and Nicobar Island, that is of very important for the country. Economic and strategic importance it has, like it is very important for tourism, security purpose, trade, migration. Okay, and very strict rules are there because of arms smuggling and like that. So it play a very important role in the security of India. So Lakshadweep Island, there are 36 coral islands that constitute Lakshadweep Island. Only 10 are inhabited. On 10 islands there people are living. 6 have been opened for tourism. The total area 32 square kilometer, and it is formed of coral deposit. Okay, then Lakshadweep Kavaratti, that is administrative headquarters, and there is a great diversity of flora and fauna. So you can see from the map Lakshadweep in the Arabian Sea, Andaman and Nicobar Island in the Bay of Bengal. Okay, so with this, all the features, all the land areas, the landforms of India are over. So we understood from the chapter that all the landforms play a very important role in the development of the country. Like mountainous region is very important because that is the main source of water, and it is also forest wealth. Northern plain very important because we get the grain. They are the main granaries of the country. Then plateau, that is again important because that is storehouse of minerals, then which played a very important role for industries. Then we have coastal region and island, which is again important for fishing and port activity. So in this way, diverse physical feature of the land is found in India, and which has a very great, immense future possibility of development. So in this way, your chapter get over. I hope you understood the chapter, and you have to learn I have explained all the details with the videos, and this is the final revision video. You can go through that, all the points are there. You can easily learn all the points, and you can prepare well for the exam. Okay, so I hope you understood. Thank you so much.